I had always believed that marriage was built on mutual respect, love, and shared intentions. My wife, Laila, and I had been together for nearly a decade. From the outside, we appeared to be a happy couple. Friends admired our relationship, family praised our partnership, and our life together seemed stable and secure. But behind the facade, a truth had been simmering, hidden in plain sight, that I never imagined I would confront. It started with subtle signs. Over the years, I noticed her growing distant at times, her attentiveness occasionally wavering, and moments of secretive behavior that I initially dismissed as minor quirks. I told myself marriage had ebbs and flows, that love sometimes changes form, and that patience was required. I never suspected that the undercurrent of her behavior pointed to something far darker, a fundamental lack of commitment and a willingness to betray. The confrontation happened on a rainy evening. I had discovered messages on her phone, the kind that make your stomach twist and your chest feel impossibly tight. Conversations with another man, flirtatious, intimate, and emotionally charged, confirmed my worst fears. My heart pounded, but I knew I needed to confront her directly. I had spent enough sleepless nights questioning, doubting, and imagining. It was time for truth, however painful. I asked her to sit down with me in the living room, our children asleep in their rooms, the quiet hum of the rain outside echoing the tension in the room. I looked her straight in the eyes and asked the question that had been burning in my mind for weeks. Why did you marry me? Her reaction surprised me. She didn't flinch, cry, or plead. Instead, she exhaled slowly, as if weighing her words carefully, and delivered an answer so blunt, so chilling, that it felt like a physical blow. I had no better option. I froze. For a long moment, the words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. Every assumption I had held about our love, her commitment, and the foundation of our marriage collapsed in an instant. No better option? I echoed, my voice trembling with a mixture of disbelief and rage. You married me because I was convenient? She nodded, unnervingly calm. Yes, I needed stability, a home, a partner who would support me. You fit the bill. That's why I married you. The weight of betrayal settled over me like a storm. It wasn't just infidelity, it was the realization that the entire marriage had been built on convenience rather than choice, on pragmatism rather than love. Every shared moment, every anniversary, every intimate memory now felt tainted, reframed in the context of manipulation and self-interest. I tried to process it. I asked her about the other man, about the emotions, about the promises we had exchanged. Her responses were detached, matter-of-fact. She spoke of attraction, excitement, and desire, as if explaining a natural progression of events rather than acknowledging the moral and emotional wreckage she had caused. The anger was immediate and intense, but beneath it lay a profound sadness. I had invested in this marriage emotionally, financially, and spiritually, believing in reciprocity, trust, and genuine love. The revelation that I had been a convenience, a fallback, a calculated choice, was devastating beyond words. I spent the following days contemplating my next steps. I could not continue in a marriage built on such a foundation. Trust, once shattered in this way, cannot be rebuilt. The betrayal was not simply about her affair, it was about the years of deceit, the emotional manipulation, and the underlying reality that she had never truly chosen me for who I was. I consulted with close friends, legal advisors, and counselors, seeking clarity and perspective. They confirmed what I already knew deep down. The marriage was irreparably compromised. The next step was inevitable divorce. But I also recognized the importance of confronting her fully, holding her accountable, and ensuring that her actions carried consequences beyond mere words. When I informed her of my decision, she was surprisingly unrepentant. She argued, rationalized, and attempted to frame her behavior as a quest for happiness and fulfillment. But I was resolute. Happiness cannot come at the expense of betrayal, and fulfillment achieved through deception is hollow and destructive. As the divorce proceedings began, I ensured that both emotional and legal accountability were maintained. Assets were fairly distributed, custody of our children prioritized, and clear boundaries established. But more importantly, I reclaimed my dignity and integrity. I refused to allow her choices to dictate my self-worth or define the remainder of my life. The aftermath was emotionally grueling. Friends and family expressed shock, sympathy, and concern. Some struggled to reconcile the charming, charismatic woman they knew with the revelation of her calculated choices. I, too, grappled with disbelief and pain, but ultimately found clarity in the principle that trust, once violated in such a profound way, demands decisive action. Over time, I began to rebuild my life. I focused on personal growth, emotional healing, and cultivating relationships based on trust and reciprocity. The lessons from this betrayal were harsh but invaluable. Love must be chosen freely. Trust must be protected vigilantly, and the foundation of any relationship must be genuine commitment, not convenience or calculation. Reflecting on that rainy evening, the question and answer remain vivid. Asking why she married me and hearing the cold, unvarnished truth was the catalyst for change, clarity, and liberation. It exposed the reality of manipulation, the consequences of deceit, and the importance of acting decisively when trust is violated. Ultimately, the experience reaffirmed my understanding of relationships, boundaries, and self-respect. Betrayal is not only the act itself, it is the underlying intent, the manipulation, and the calculated choices that undermine trust. Responding with clarity, decisive action, and a commitment to integrity allows one to reclaim agency, preserve dignity, and build a future free from the shadows of deceit. The memory of that moment, the confrontation, the shocking confession, and the emotional reckoning remains a constant reminder that trust and love are invaluable, and that betrayal, however cleverly concealed, cannot withstand truth, accountability, and the resolve to protect one's integrity.